What's up, everyone? Welcome to your weekly tech update, the show that explores the newest, coolest, and craziest side of the interwebs. I am your host, Ray McNeil. Coming up on the program today, virtual taekwondo could be the next big Olympic-level sport. This crazy NASA robot seamlessly exits a car in a mesmerizing video. Happening in this week's What The, how hackers are using gamers to become crypto rich. And of course, we'll wrap up the program with this week's Moment of Joy. All that and a whole lot more coming up on today's edition of your weekly tech update next. Finally, the 2020 Summer Games are happening. Apparently, after being delayed for over a year due to COVID, which means the long-awaited return of Olympic-level Taekwondo. In honor of International Olympic Day, a celebration of Olympic values in which athletes participate in a variety of sports activities, exhibitions, and seminars, well, Singapore-based tech company Refract has revealed Virtual Taekwondo, a mixed reality experience that allows fighters to spar virtually using full body motion tracking powered by the company's Active XR interface system, otherwise known as AXS. Think of it like playing a video game such as Tekken, Mortal Kombat, or Street Fighter, only instead of buttons and joysticks, the body is the only controller. And honestly, this looks much more like Virtual Fighter in my personal opinion. Virtual Taekwondo uses 10 sensors, or 7 if you're using a VR headset, spread throughout various parts of your body in order to capture your full body's movements and then replicate them in-game in real time. The movement of you and your opponents are displayed on giant screens in front of each player. It looks a lot like playing a traditional video game, only slightly more exhausting. The system doesn't require cables or any type of base station, which means you have full freedom of movement, allowing you to bring your own unique style of fighting to the game. With the esports market on track to surpass $1.5 billion by 2023, Refract sees big potential with its AXS platform. By partnering with the World Taekwondo Federation, the two organizations hope to develop a virtual sports program that can be used to promote physical activity through innovation, such as XR. Another goal is to align themselves with the IOC's Olympic agenda for 2020 through 25, a roadmap of 15 recommendations that will guide the IOC and Olympic movement for the next 5 years in growing digital engagement with people all around the world. In an official press release, the president of the World Taekwondo Federation said, "In today's society, it has never been more important to transcend physical barriers," adding, "With virtual Taekwondo, we promote fitness, well-being, and community to a wider digital-savvy audience." Ultimately, the hope is that virtual sports will be a medal event at the 2028 Olympic Games in Los Angeles. Because AXS is a digital platform, athletes across several disciplines will no longer be restricted by traditional sports barriers, such as location, age, gender, and weight class. Instead of having women and men's divisions or dividing athletes by age group, virtual sports will pit skill versus skill, regardless of physical form or characteristics. How cool is this? There is no motorcycle on the planet like this one. British company White Motorcycle Concepts, or WMC, has put land speed record holders on notice with a two-wheel drive, hydraulically hub-steered electric motorcycle designed around a giant hole. The company says that the WMC 250 EV should be capable of more than 250 miles per hour or 402 kilometers an hour, thanks to a massive 69% reduction in drag. Rob White has paid his dues in the racing world, working on numerous Formula One, Le Mans prototype V8 supercars, and World Endurance Championship race teams over the last 25 years. And his approach to motorcycle design is clearly influenced by the world of high-end cars. Going super fast ends up being more about aerodynamics than horsepower. The air becomes a ferocious adversary as you move past 2 or 3 times highway speed. Motorcycles are aerodynamically ugly mainly because of the big, funny-shaped human on the back of them. Now with this one, that's not the case. The WMC 250 EV has been specifically designed around its rider, none other than Rob White himself. The team laser scanned White's leather and helmet-clad body in an extreme racing crouch and designed the bike's bodywork that it matches his personal contours almost to the millimeter. It's also got a huge hole in the middle of it. We've seen plenty of high-end supercars with tech like this, but this is the first time that we've seen something so extreme attempted on a motorcycle. The entire bike is designed around a cavernous carbon tunnel that punches a huge hole in the bike's frontal aerodynamic profile, right where a headlight would normally sit. WMC has tested this bike, Rob included, and says the concept reduces drag by an enormous 69% compared against the world's leading motorcycle with a drag coefficient of just 0.118. That's absolutely nuts. Even the world's fastest production car at 282 miles per hour can only manage a drag coefficient of about 0.279. In order to run that big hole through the middle, well, WMC had to jam all the guts of the bike into the space under the tunnel. That's not just the electric drivetrain and battery packs either. The tunnel cuts right through where the steering head and forks normally would be. So the design uses a double swing arm suspension system. The rear wheel is chain driven by a pair of 30 kilowatt electric motors integrated into the swing arm. The front wheel is hub steered using a hydraulic system that completely replaces the mechanical linkage that you normally find between the handlebars and the front axle. Where most hub steered front wheels are pretty complex units because they need to fit both steering and braking into the picture, this one takes things up a level by adding an extra 20 kilowatt electric motor on each side. So this bike is not only two-wheel drive, it also has two-wheel regenerative braking. Between that and the wild aerodynamic efficiency of the design, White claims it could double a regular bike's range out of a given battery size. The battery on this bike will be a reasonably humble 15 kilowatt hour pack. Total peak power about 100 kilowatts, that's about 134 horsepower on a bike, though that's still pretty insane. And of course you have that torque from the electric motor. Oh man, you're going to have to watch out for sure. White's plan is to prove the technology with an electric land speed record and then roll it out into the electric street bike market. To that end, he's patented the V-Air big hole technology internationally and hopes that he can bring something similar, albeit nowhere near as extreme or personally tailored, to the street.